On October 7th, Hamas murdered 37 children. That day, over 20 kids lost both parents and more than 35 were kidnapped into Gaza. Well, a new film called The Children of October 7 exposes the horrific experiences of Israeli kids on that infamous morning. Well, Eytan Schwartz, executive producer of the film, joins us now. Eton, I can only imagine how hard this must have been. What was it like making this film?
You know, as a father myself to three beautiful, wonderful kids, it has been heartbreaking because as Israelis, since October 7th, everything that has transpired, we always say to ourselves, that could have been us, that could have been us killed, that could have been us kidnapped. And when you see the kids, you say, these could have been my kids. These could have been my nieces and nephews. These could have been the kids of my friends. These are absolutely normal Israeli children that found themselves in the most horrific of situations. I guess probably anything like this since the Second World War, since the Holocaust. And it's very, very interesting that Paramount Plus, which picked up the film and will start airing it this week, is launching it on the Israeli Holocaust Remembrance Day, because these are truly stories that I think we as Jews carry with us from the Holocaust. These stories of children all alone by themselves, amazing survival cases. One of the children hiding under the body of his dead mother and pretending to be dead so that the terrorists didn't kill him as well. These are things that resonate very, very deeply with everybody. And us and Israelis, I think, are heartbreaking, and we have not come over these stories yet.
This is heavy, but I'm so grateful that you guys have made this film, and it's so important. So let me ask you this, Eytan. What most impacted you about the film?
You know, everybody talks about the resilience of the children, and I think that's something that's very, very true. But more specifically, in the film we have, I'll just give it out, Montana Tucker, which is an amazing, amazing influencer and a pro-Israel voice, one of the few ones that have been sided with Israel since October 7th. So she comes to speak with 8 different children who witnessed and experienced the most horrific things. 2 of these children had their fathers kidnapped to Gaza. And when we shot in September 2024, these kids not only had seen the most horrific things and actually seen some of their own family members being murdered in front of their eyes, but also they were campaigning actively with the rest of their family for the release of their fathers in captivity. And in the film, there's this hope of children waiting for their dads to come out, saying that they are going to continue fighting until their dads return. And unfortunately, since filming the film, and now these 2 dads were murdered and were returned to Israel in the past few weeks in body bags. So you see this unbelievably touching film, and you see these kids talking with great hope about the moment their fathers will return to them. And we know the end. We know how it ends. And unfortunately, it ended for these kids as it ended for so many other Israeli kids. They were left alone. And their fathers were killed, like some of the other children who started this film already in the process of grieving because they lost their fathers.
Okay, Eytan, we have a 30-second trailer that I want to play. If you can watch this film, But here's the trailer. Take a look.
When they took you, did you have any idea where you were going?
I hid under my mom's dead body for an hour.
They said, if you move, you die.
Do you know where your dad is?
Soldiers found his body upstairs.
I was just focused on surviving.
Eytan, what do you hope comes from this film?
I think one of the most frustrating things as Israelis is that we feel that our story was ignored by some, sidelined by others, minimized. This is the 9/11 defining moment of Israeli society in my generation. There has been not a single horrific moment since the Holocaust of the Jews 80 years ago in Europe in which we felt so victimized, but also so much in solidarity with each other, Jews around the world and Israelis. But we feel that the stories didn't transpire the way they should have. The world went another way. And even while October 7th was still happening, and then 8th and the 9th, and some audiences, obviously not the people that watch this network, but other people influenced by social media and other forms of media completely distorted the story. So from a story of peaceful communities being attacked on a holiday, on a Jewish holiday at 6:30 in the morning, and 1,200 of them slaughtered and 250 kidnapped to Gaza by the most horrific jihadists, truly genocidal, self-proclaimed genocidal people, this became a story of resistance, of liberation, and this is completely, completely absurd. We as Israelis, we feel so frustrated by this, and therefore me, my creative partner, Manny Avram, and many, many other people have made it our life mission to tell these stories, to document these stories. Specifically with the children, I think this is very important. There are many questions about asking children to relive their horrific moments to the camera, but to us it was clear that these stories needed to be recorded when the children are still children, when they describe things through the eyes of children and with the words of children and through the processing of children. I remember as a child hearing Holocaust survivors at school, but these were older people and I was a child. It was harder to relate. And technology today allows us essentially to record the child as a child for other young people around the world and for future generations to hear these unbelievably innocent children talk about what they saw and what they experienced which no human being should ever endure.
Well, as a father of three, this hits home. I'm a little speechless just because I've seen some of the clips, and it's hard to watch, but it's so important that you do. So how can my friend here actually see the film?
So it airs this week on Paramount Plus. Everybody that has access to Paramount Plus can see this film. And that's really what we want. We want eyeballs. We want people to see it. We want people to share the clips. By the way, Montana Tucker, obviously, with her 14 million followers, has shared 7 clips from this film on her social media platforms, mainly TikTok and Instagram. You can watch those on her platforms and on Paramount Plus platforms. So even if it's hard to see, it's a short film. It's 35 minutes long. Even if it's hard to see 35 minutes of children talking about their suffering, 2 minutes is enough. And if everyone watching us now could share this clip with 5 of their friends, we have done a big act. It means we have shown millions of people something of the suffering. And I think to understand modern day Israel and to understand what we are experiencing now as Israelis and as Jews around the world, I think hearing these stories gets you a bit closer to understanding the trauma we suffered and have been suffering for the past year and a half.
Eytan, toda rabah, achi. Thank you for coming on, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.